the beginning of the match there was big pressure on the table for both of us, I think also for Australian players.
I think we didn't show our 100% skills in this match. It was a tough match, but fortunately for us, we won.
Yeah, we got off to a good start. Our breaks were going pretty well, and even when we didn't make a ball, they didn't have a shot, so we dominated the match.
Recipe for success, I think, it's not to commit stupid mistakes. Most important is quite calm, not nervous, play good and enjoy the game, I think.
Poland team is very strong, they're individually strong, but I think they do remember when they lost to us in the finals of 2012, so maybe that's in the back of their mind. We just have to be strong, do our own thing, and see where it takes us.
Well, there you see the great Mika Immonen, recently elected into the Hall of Fame, and his partner Petri Mäkinen. Yes, indeed, they did win this event 2 years ago in Manila, Philippines, and they beat this very Polish squad in the finals.
Yes, by 10 racks to 8, the final score in that dramatic contest, and you get the impression here everything points to another tight affair.
Absolutely.
Finland seeded 8th,
Finland
Poland
wins the
seeded
rack.
9th. Every way you look at this, hardly anything to choose between them.
A race to 7 racks. First rack, Finland to break.
Yes, very equal in all respects, except that victory 2 years ago in Manila in this very event. So, you know, it's amazing how winning breeds confidence and breeds more winning. So Poland has yet to conquer the mountaintop. Finland has.
Wing ball in straight away. Position, great shape, in fact, on the 2. The 3 ball in the open. Looks like a quick conclusion to the opening rack of the day.
3-ball rule. So in this event, you must get 3 balls past that white head string. All balls pocketed count as a ball past the head string. So you will hear at times an illegal break, and we will let you know when that happens. In that case, this was an excellent break-off for Team Finland. Now watch how they play. They don't really need to talk much. Only in real sticky situations will you see them discussing strategy. Clearly, Phil, the leader of this team is the great Mika Immonen, and Petri is his loyal deputy.
Well put, Ted. Immonen, the preeminent force, but he would be the first to agree. He's the preeminent force in this match in a quality quartet. Spent a good portion of last evening up in the practice room, not honing their skills, but watching as the Americans and the Russians put their final preparations together before taking on each other.
It's amazing how this guy Petri just raises the level of his game when he plays pairs with Mika. Because clearly Mika's got a resume almost unequaled in the sport of pool. But I think Petri looks at Mika as a big brother, and he feels very comfortable out there with Mika. And Mika's a very calming presence.
Well, in a confrontational head-to-head sport, it's quite easy to be daunted, to be intimidated by your opponent. In this tournament, sometimes players have been intimidated by their partner, if there's a gulf in experience and accomplishment between them. But Mäkinen doesn't fall into that group.
What a great opening rack here for the team from Finland as they win. Well, they win the opening rack 1-0. And there you see, they've had 2 very good years. 2012, the winners. And last year they played excellent and lost in the semifinals. So This team is still on a roll.
And don't forget 2007 when Marcus Juve was the partner of Mika Immonen in Rotterdam, Holland. They came within a rack of capturing the title then, losing out in the end in a real thriller to Fu Jiangbo and Li Yiwen of
Second
China.
rack, Finland to break, leading by 1 rack to 0.
So Mika Immonen in rack number 2. It's just a race to 7. Winner breaks, not alternate break. Winner breaks. You win the rack, you're back up to the table. So you can put your opponents in the chair. They can be spectators in this match.
Illegal break, control passes.
Now there's an example of an illegal break. Only 1 ball down and 1 ball past the head string. So there needed to be another ball either past the string or in the pocket. Wasn't the case. So referee Michaela Tab calls an illegal break. Now, Poland has the option to shoot or give it back. Of course, you can see they can see the 1 ball, so they will shoot.
Tell you what, that's a source of frustration for the Finns. The 4 and the 6 ball tantalizingly close to the head string.
And the whole ball, Phil, does not have to be over the line. It just has to be over even by a fraction of a millimeter. I actually went over that the other day with Michaela. We were down on the line looking, and it can be the slightest part of the ball just over the line, and that would be considered good.
Whenever the Poles take to the table, there's a part of you that always wishes them well, because the administrators in their country have worked wonders, haven't they, to promote the game.
That's great. They have this on television. They have tournaments and leagues and online. They have a great presence, and they're really polite and friendly, well-spoken, and the game has really taken off. It's amazing. I mean, when you put investment in something, it generally pays off, and in this case, it has for Poland. Same in Qatar, Phil. You know, the Qatari Olympic Committee has invested in pool, and in the last 5 years, they've really made great strides. And look at Qatar is into our 2nd round, and we'll be playing later against Austria. Matusz Śniegacki with a nice pot there, and he leaves this for on the 5. This cut shot on the 5 for Karol Skawerski.
Arguably the greatest moment so far, at least in Polish pool history, was then this man won the World Pool Masters on home soil in Kielce, Poland in the autumn of 2012.
And he beat his partner, Matusz Śniegacki, in the final. Oh, that was a bad miss. And boy, when you leave Finland back on the table with only 4 balls left and an open shot on that 5, you can kiss this one goodbye.
Yes, and weaving through the gap with the cue ball, the gap between the 7 and the 9 is no issue whatsoever. So 2-0, looking highly likely.
Well, put that in your scorebook, because bad miss for Poland. Highly makeable shot there. And Karol can just sit there and watch as Finland will go up by 2.
Super shot. Deep screw, reverse side, zipped it around. Lovely.
That is not good at all. That's actually the worst place he could have put it. Be better either lower or higher. Obviously, he tried to bring it up higher.
Extension.
Mika's. Boy, this is a very thin cut. Nika's pretty capable, though. Yeah.
Makonnen made the mistake, but Immonen covered over the cracks. And so, Finland 2, Poland 0. It was a poor positional shot, but an absolutely fantastic positional shot from 6 to 7 by the former world 9-ball champion. Really dug into the cue ball, timed it perfectly, side applied, couldn't wish for anything better.
Great shot right there. And now Finland with a chance to turn the screws a little bit tighter on Team Poland. You don't get many chances in a race to 7 when you're playing a team of the quality of Finland.
Rack 3, Finland to break, leading by 2 racks to 0.
And I can tell you what, Makonnen breaks off at the start of rack number 3, mightily relieved that his positional blunder wasn't expensive.
And you know what? He's been breaking great. One ball down. Well, the 4 ball lurking in the corner. Nope. Well, it doesn't appear that he can see the 2 ball.
Might they be able to play a carom from 2 to 4? Don't know whether he can see quite enough of the 2 to do that.
Well, he can see part of that.
I think the carom's on, definitely. It's just a matter of whether he can avoid the in-off. That's the worrying aspect of this shot.
And of course, it's not just potting the ball, it's getting the position back on the 2. Oh, almost on the rebound. Oh, that's a good result.
Isn't it just? He took the aggressive option, and when he missed the carom, therefore he was entitled to leave something on, and he hasn't at all.
You were talking about the scratch, Phil. Yeah, he tried to nick it in and make sure that the cue ball was far enough away from the pocket so he wouldn't scratch. Oh, he went for that. Oh, and this is going to be on with perhaps a jump shot or a swerve shot.
To be honest, before I said he left nothing on at all in terms of a direct pot. That was true, but at this level, that combination there, 2-4, you expected to have been completed the bank carom. It wasn't, and
Extension.
again, this time it's the Poles' turn to partially get away with this.
But Petre's got his jump stick out, so this is very makeable, and he's just got to keep the cue ball under control. Because, you know, you see the 3 ball is way back at the other end of the table. So he's probably going to try to bring the cue ball back around to where it is now. So many calculations involved. Not enough. See, first you gotta avoid the 9 ball. You gotta try to pot the 2. And your third down the list is get position.
I think the aim here for Immonen is to come off 2 cushions, leave the cue ball where the red 3 is now, and try and achieve some distance. Well, caught it thin, but he's been fortunate. Well, in this rack, a rather unusual one, Ted. The luck is swinging one way and then the other.
Well, you might see I think you can see enough of it to perhaps do a cross-table bank. And the 4 is pretty easy. You could probably get that from various positions in the table. Just like that. Two-way shot, actually. So he could have even jumped that ball on the 4. had he made the three.
You call it a two-way shot, Ted. In snooker, they call it a shot to nothing.
To nowhere, yeah. Now, will they go for the 3-4 combination? Maybe. What a terrific shot. Terrific touch, Phil.
Yes, playing it quietly to hold the red 3 ball near the pocket.
Oh, look at that position. Right between the 7 and 9 for the orange 5. That's a terrific shot. Full table, and he has to screw it back to that exact position.
You get the feeling if this one goes in, it's going to be 3-0.
Aggressive play from Petri.
Well, consecutive banks from the junior Finn. And it looks like the rack is going to be deposited in the Finnish bank.
These guys have been playing solid Scotch double pools now for three straight years. I mean, they won it 2 years ago, and they got to the semis last year and almost made it into the finals. And now they have yet to lose a rack in this event.
It's full marks. They beat Korea, whitewashed them 7-0 in the opening round. This is for 3-0, so 10 out of 10, literally.
There it is. Finland off to a flying start. They lead Poland 3-0 in this round 2 match. At the level of play they're executing at right now, I don't know how anybody can beat Team Finland. And they have that added advantage, Phil, of having won this event already, this very pair, so they know what it takes. Now there's an illegal break. 1 ball down and only 1 ball past the head string.
Well, Lightning has struck twice. The Finns did exactly the same as that in rack number 2.
So, and you can see the 2, but there will be a safety. And the Poles are in a precarious situation right now. They better execute it to perfection. They're down 3-0. If they lose this rack, it's going to be slipping away quickly.
Eight and 9 providing the barrier. Cue ball in behind it.
Oh, and Petri's got the jump cue again. So he'll just send this down table. And
Extension.
perhaps take the cue ball, if he can, at the opposite end. I'd be surprised if he's, I mean, if he's looking at the bank, I don't, maybe because the 3 would go into the corner. Oh yeah, he was, because he liked the position on the 3 ball. And still, not a terrible result. This is a difficult shot right here. So all in all, good effort from Petri. He's making a good account of himself so far. See that? Not sure if that pass is, you can certainly see part of the ball, but enough to pocket it, I'm not sure.
I'm sure he can't. So he's jumping over the right-hand side of the 8-ball.
Boy, this is tough. It's tough because how do you control it? Phil, that was a bit
Reset clock, please.
of a desperation shot. They'll be taking this one on up 3-0. A chance to tighten the screws. Oh, what a really nice pot right there. Boy, Phil, he just brilliant speed and finesse right there.
Well, when it comes to snooker, Immonen can hold his own. He's made over 100 century breaks. Born in London, of course, just around 75 miles from here. And Finland have got quite a cue sports heritage. Earlier this year, their leading snooker player, Robin Hull, who's a very talented individual, played in the first round at the World Championship against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Born in London, raised in Finland, and now lives in New York City. Bill, there's a lot of great teams in this event, but when you have won it, you're now at a whole new level because you have that belief. You know, this is not a format that players normally play. Normally they're playing singles, and they very rarely play in doubles events. So it's a difficult thing for a player to win in doubles because they're just not used to it, and they have to rely on another partner. So when you finally do pull off a victory, you have a massive advantage over everyone else in subsequent tournaments. Get going. Well, now it'll be 8-9. I'm sure they didn't want that. It would just be easy enough to pot the 8 in the other pocket down in the corner, but
Has to take it now, surely. And with so much distance between the 8 and the 9, this is by no means a formality.
You don't have one.
It looks straightforward enough from this angle, from behind the pocket. You think he's going to knock this in, but
he's got to cut the 8 just a little bit. Oh, great shot. Well, if you want anybody to hit a shot like that, Phil, the soon-to-be inducted Hall of Famer Mika Immonen is the one to do it.
when they won this championship, this cup in 2012, in the corresponding round, the second round, they defeated two of the finest players in the game, Ralph Suke and Torsten Homan, 8-4. That puts into perspective just how good this pairing is.
And again, they're a good pair, a good team. You know, in any sport, there's no I in team. It's not about putting together a bunch of superstars.
Rack 5.
You have
Finland to break, leading by 4 racks to 0.
You have one or two superstars on a team, and then you have the other players, the role players. Petri Mäkinen is a role player. I've left out the pool gods lately. Okay, got it.
Now that looked really good at one point, but the last few rolls of the balls might have deprived Finland here. There, at that point, the 2 was on.
He might be looking at the 2-9. Hey, why not? You're up 4-0. Go for it. And he might get it anyway. Oh, no. That was not the pocket. He was going for the 9, obviously, but a very good move, going offensive, up 4-0. Everything going the way of Finland.
And there was I, thinking he was playing the snooker behind the 4-ball.
Extension.
Hey, who knows? Mika, that kind of complicated shot, sure, he might have been thinking about that.
I was only joking. Don't think that was in the intentions whatsoever, but he'll take it.
And look at this shot. Not easy. It's just all going wrong for Team Poland. And the 9 ball is sitting right in the jaws of the pocket. I wonder if they'll try to pick that off at some point. The thing is, the 4 ball will not, you could not hit the 4 into the 9. It would more like the 5 into the 9. But let's see, they might end up disturbing the 9 ball. See, now they might end up moving the 9 as the 4 goes in. But no, I don't think he can even cut that. They might be banking this.
Extension.
Now at this level, then normally they just run out the balls. They don't need to get an easy shot onto the 9. That's not going to go. So poor positional play by Mika, and they turn the table over to the Poles. And Phil, you got to figure it's now or never for Poland.
Yes, already in a deep hole. The loss of 1 more rack, and they might not be able to scramble their way out.
He actually went for that 9 ball and ended up scratching.
Poland.
Let's watch that one again. He hit it in such a way that he
Start the clock.
he actually tried to hit the 9 ball to flick it in.
Well, deliberation, consultation. Here, though, it's an embarrassment of riches.
No, you just use the 9 ball as a guide. See, at this level, it's easier, safer to just run out the balls. In the pub, Phil, of course, every player just tries to go for that 9 ball on every shot, but not at this level. That's considered very risky. What a performance. Finland has yet to lose a rack in this event. We are into round 2. They whitewashed Korea 7-0. That was a farce of a match. And Mika Immonen to make it 5-0.
And we're 2 racks away from what would be unprecedented back-to-back whitewashes in the World Cup of Pool. That would be extraordinary.
So here's the scratch. You see, he tries to flick it off the 4 and hopefully pot the 9, and it ends up scratching. Boy, it's been just an awful afternoon here for Team Poland. I expected a much tighter match. So Mika Immonen now to break.
Rack 6. Finland to break, leading by 5 racks to 0.
So the winner of this match will play the winner of Holland and oh, that's right. The winner of this match, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. The winner of this match will play the Philippines. And assuming it's Finland, even though the Philippines is the defending champion, you'd have to fancy Finland. They'll certainly be the betting favorite, Phil.
On career reputation, if you look at the country as a whole and their status within the pool world, Philippines, yes, they would be favourites. But on the way the two teams have played respectively to get to the quarterfinals, assuming Finland go over the line here, you have to say the Finns should be favourites.
Oh, they will be favored. And if they're not, put your money, you might find yourself with a nice wager.
Yes, but with the Philippines, we shouldn't fall into the trap we fell into last year. In the early rounds, they just ambled through, and then as the tournament progressed, just got a little bit better.
And I keep coming back to this. Finland is a great team. You got a great, phenomenal individual player in Mika Immonen, a very good player in Petri Mäkinen. But as a team, wow, they're just amazing. They do everything right. They have a great pace. They don't talk too much. They don't panic. They're shooting lights out. I think Mika's so comfortable with Petri, and because, you know, Petri, as we saw earlier in the match, he made some terrific shots. He made that jump shot on the 2, and then he had that kick shot on the 3 up and down table to knock the 3 in.
Immonen's nickname, the Iceman. And thanks to the Iceman there, the Poles continue to go south.
Petri Mäkinen's been really good at this break so far. Throughout this event, he's been breaking really well. So, Poland, misery, just can sit and watch. That's all they can do. There's the 1 ball down. 2 balls in the other corner. Wow, what a break shot. 3 balls down. So it's the 7 and the 2 ball and the 1 ball now. And a clear shot on the 3, the 4, 5, 6. Phil, I think this is it.
Passport, you would assume, about to be stamped into the quarterfinals.
You'd have to say that Finland is the team to beat. Nobody has played at this level, and again, the fact that they won this event means that they know they can win it. I mean, pairs is not easy for a lot of players. They're not used to this format. So even if you're talking about a player that's won a lot of singles tournaments, who's never won a pairs tournament, still going to be tough to get that confidence to believe that you can do it until you actually do it. These guys did it 2 years ago. They very nearly did it last year, and they are literally on fire this year.
It's been 40 minutes of unremitting hell for the Poles. An extraordinary match, totally one-sided, totally against what we imagined would happen. McConan pots the clinching ball for the 2nd round in succession. A whitewash is completed. Finland yet to drop a rack. in the World Cup of Pool. You can't reach the quarterfinals any more convincingly than that. And we will chat with the latest winners in the tournament after the break. What a start to day 4 of the World Cup of Pool. The men in white shirts have completed their second consecutive whitewash. It was very convincing indeed. Ted Lerner is with the Flying Finns.
Thanks very much, Phil. And yes, indeed, here with the very satisfied winners, Team Finland, Mika Immonen, Petri Mäkinen. Gentlemen, all I can say is, wow, what is going on? You guys have yet to lose a rack in this event.
I know, it's pretty freaky, actually. It's I don't know. We've never had this in the history of the event, and gotta say, our breaks are working well, and we're solving the problem situations well. We're both coming with some good class shots, and yeah, it's 7-zip. When it rains, it pours.
You know, Petri, I know you're playing with a Hall of Famer. Mika's going to get into the Hall of Fame this year, a legend in the sport. And yet, if you watch this, if you don't know anything about pool, you guys look actually equal out there. What do you attribute your great play to?
I mean, it just, the doubles is different. And our chemistry just clicks together, so we play good. And it looks like that. We just need to break a little bit better, then it's okay.
Break a little better. That last rack, you made 3 balls and you had a shot on the 3. How much better? You want to hit all 9 in at once?
No, just keep the last break. Hit it all the time, so then it's good.
Right, okay. So, I mean, Poland, obviously we expected a much tougher match. Are you worried, Mika, that perhaps that you've expended all this amazing play now and that, it's just going to get tougher as you go, or can you continue this run?
Well, we're not worried, but obviously we haven't been tested either. But, like if we keep this kind of consistent demeanor and just run the racks and do the work, it's going to pay dividends. So we can't, we just got to be happy with the performance.
All right. Now, you know that you play the defending champions and the Philippines in the quarterfinals. How do you approach a match like that? The Philippines has not played well in this tournament. I suppose you know the Filipinos very well, that you're expecting a lot higher level match from the Philippines.
Well, I know, they're capable of switching gears at any point and any time. So we'll expect them to play well tomorrow, and we have to, match that level. So yeah, if we keep playing like this, I don't like anybody's chances.
Okay, congratulations, gentlemen. A phenomenal performance. Have yet to lose a rack here in the World Cup of Pool. Finland is through to the quarterfinals where they play the Philippines next.